Hey, you beautiful twin flames. Look who is overseeing the reading today. It is Robin. I was going to say Robin Hood. Is it Robin Hood? No, it's Little Red Riding Hood. I don't know, she's kind of spooky sometimes. I can see that she stares at me from a distance. You know how those dolls do? So I don't know, if you're freaked out by dolls, ready? She's going to look at you really quickly. Ready? Whoop. I hope you're not freaked out by dolls, because I'm about to get some Ken and Barbies coming soon. Donkey thinks it's hilarious. Alrighty, so I had a few days off because I had some divine feminines needing me for a little bit, so I was spending time with them. I also had some fun by falling off my hammock and I fell and I actually landed on the bar on my back, and actually my dog helped me up off the ground, so it was quite funny. It wasn't funny at the time, but it's funny to talk about now. So the reason I've been away, my excuse is because I fell out of my hammock. Is that funny? I think that's pretty funny. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about where the divine masculine and divine feminine are at briefly, and then I'm going to go into 3 concepts that I want you to have a little understanding about. And so Little Red Riding Hood's going to join us. You may find her staring at you during the video, but she's just making sure that you're listening. But it's okay. I'm counteracting her freaky look with my magic lantern here. And of course, if you have any wishes, don't forget to place them in here. And you know, if you want to go on my prayer list, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Just pop your name down in the comment section below. Alrighty, so divine feminine is and has been pretty much, there's 2 groups of divine feminine. There's one staying heart space open, waiting for her man to come in. Some are in semi-union, meaning that they're having conversations in the 3D. They're coming in and out, coming in and out, coming in and out. And this is good. However, many of you are not stating your needs. And this is why I've created my Magic 20 course. So it's actually unique to you, because you get to ask 20 questions, and I'm going to give you 2 hours of video which is going to help you understand the concepts of the 3D. Okay? So many divine feminines who are in semi-union are there goes my throat chakra, hang on. Whew. Many of you don't have boundaries in the 3D. Okay, so you've managed to manifest them. You know, you did all that, you know, stuff where you connected into your own soul and you started feeling great about you, and then your divine masculine came in, and then you had no boundaries in the 3D. So I'm going to talk about this topic today. I'm also going to talk about unconditional love. Is it only in the 5D? That's an interesting one. I'm then going to talk about these 2 things. We need scary music playing right now. Detachment and attachment. Okay. We need an emoji face for the word detachment. I hate the word detachment. Bleh, because it's just silly. But anyway, I'll explain that to you in a minute. So the divine masculine is kind of testing the divine feminine. The ones that are in semi-union are kind of testing the boundaries of divine feminine. How much can I get away with? Some of them who are in their distorted energy are seeing how far can I take this? Can I perhaps make love to her without any conditions? Can I perhaps get away with only talking to her minimally without any conditions? All right, so the divine masculine is kind of in this state where he's wanting to surrender. That's another big word, isn't it? He's wanting to surrender without condition or conditions. Okay, so divine feminine has some conditions that she would like to uphold, but divine masculine is trying to surrender to the journey. I don't even think many of them don't know they're on a journey, but they're trying to surrender. They're kind of trying to have their cake and eat it too, so that some of them are coming in, this is just for some, they're coming in all sexually and passionate, and I don't know, maybe they're having sexy time with their divine feminine in some kind of way, whether that's in person or over social media, right? But they're not actually committing in any way. And, unless there's been a conversation about commitment, they don't have to do that. But many divine feminines are allowing that when they actually want commitment. Alrighty, so this is what's going on. For those of you in complete separation from your DM, you will be feeling them very passionately in the 5D on and off. So 1 minute they'll be really passionate, and then you kind of be like, oh, where are they? I feel they're missing. Then they'll come in passionately, and you may even feel like, that energy kind of driving you crazy a bit. All right, for those of you who aren't in semi-union where you're coming and talking in the 3D. All right, so let's move into these topics now. Unconditional love is available in the 5D. So, when you pray, when you connect into a meditation, you can be unconditionally loving. And I guess if you're a parent, most parents will be trying to be unconditionally loving. They always love their kids. Let's take it from a kid perspective here. They always love their kids. Even if their kid has a bad behavior, they're still going to say, well, I still love my child. Even if your child grew up and had a drug problem or some other kind of problem, you would still say, wow, I unconditionally love my child. Okay? So divine feminine tries to do this. She tries to go, well, I unconditionally, let's pretend it's Little Red Riding Hood speaking, I unconditionally love my divine masculine. Yes, I do. Right? And then she might say, but if he doesn't like the apple pie I made for him, I'm going to get really pissed off. She swears a lot, by the way. This Little Red Riding Hood, I don't know what country she's from or anything like that, but she does swear a lot. So I don't know if she heard it growing up or what's going on, but sometimes she says some words that are very naughty. I guess she needs them to scare the wolf away. So when my divine masculine comes in, I love him unconditionally unless he doesn't eat my apple pie, and then I get really pissed off. Okay, good. All right, we heard you the first time. Thank you very much, Little Red Riding Hood. Thank you. We heard you. Okay, so we're all clear. Okay, so this happens with parenting. We love our children unconditionally, don't we? But when they do something naughty, we need to say, right? You can actually say this to your kid. And in Australia, we spell behavior with a U. Behavior. In America, I think it's without the U. Right? So we can say, I love you unconditionally, but your behavior is appalling, let's say. So we might say that to our kids. I love you unconditionally. Mum loves you all the time. But that behavior is really naughty, we might say, when he starts chewing up the lounge when he's 5. Maybe that's your dog that does that. I don't know. Okay. Oh, divine masculine's not happy. I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, so unconditional love can happen in the 5D and in the 3D. However, there's always going to be behaviors by the other twin flame. Take whichever gender or whichever DMDF label you want to take here. The behavior is always going to be the thing that we question. Okay, it's like, I love you unconditionally, but when you told me, and here we go, when you told me you were going to ring me on Friday morning at 9 a.m. and you didn't do it, and you didn't text me and tell me you weren't going to, I don't like that behavior, right? So I still love you, but that behavior sucks. And in fact, this is a technique that happens, psychology teaches people to be like this with their kids. If your kid's really naughty, you can say, hey, sweetie, mum or dad loves you, right? To the moon and back, I love you, but your behavior is unacceptable. So you're going to say, you're going to keep the love on one hand, all right? You're going to keep the love. It's always there, it's always there, it's always there. I always love you, I always love you, I always love you. But when you do a shitty behavior, I will let you know. I will let you know. Right? Stop chewing up the lounge, Jimmy. You learnt that from the dog and it's unacceptable, right? So whatever it is that they're doing, you can tell them. And this is okay to do with your twin flame as well. I love you unconditionally, but when you forget to ring me on a Monday night and you said you would, that behavior is not okay with me. All right? So this is all about having boundaries in the third dimensional reality. Okay, you do love your children unconditionally, as you do your twin flame. You love them unconditionally, but there must be boundaries. There must be some kind of boundary. Okay, it's like, let's go and say we're going to buy a piece of land. All right, and we're walking with the real estate agent, and you ask the agent, well, okay, so this piece of land, it says it's 5 acres. Can you tell me where the boundaries are? And the real estate agent goes, well, there's no fences and there's no posts. So I can't really tell you where they are. We can't drive around the perimeter. So, it's very difficult for me to ascertain what I'm even buying. So if there was a fence built around this plot of land, then I could simply see, okay, well, I could build my house there and I could put the unicorns in this paddock over here, right? Little Red Riding Hood could live over here in her swearing cottage. She says, for fuck's sake, don't tell them I swear. I heard that. Did you hear that? She's swearing again. Okay, right. So how do you... Right, what the divine masculine's doing now is he's trying to surrender to the journey, because he knows he loves the divine feminine unconditionally, but he's trying to do it without conditions. So he's trying to maybe gain sexual prowess over her without committing to her, and that's what she might need, right? Or he's trying to come in and out with texting or calling, or then he'll block her, and then he'll come in, and then he'll whatever. And she's going, well, I can't see the boundaries of this relationship, situationship, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're in a twin flame relationship or a soulmate relationship, or having a relationship with your children or a friend or your mother or your father. There has to be some kind of boundary. I'll let you into my heart space completely when you know what my boundaries are, because then if you know what my boundaries are, then when you break them, I understand that you actually are being indecent. I'll still love you anyway, just like when kids are naughty. When kids start, I don't know, what do they do? One of the big things that kids do when they're little is that they like to, throw their wrappers, or I don't know, let's say they have a fruit box or something, or a juice, and they like to put, they've just, instead of going to the bin, they'll just put it down the side of their lounge or the bed or something like that. And, you go to vacuum or something, and all these wrappers and tissues and things will be there, and you'll be like, hang on a minute, that's not okay. That's not okay. I've got boundaries, don't you know? That chewing gum, I suggest not giving your children candies or chewing gum, but I'm just saying, that chewing gum's been there for 10 years now. How am I going to get it off the carpet? So, even though we love our twin flame unconditionally, right, don't you know, if we don't have boundaries and let them know what we expect in the 3D, right, it can't happen. And I'll tell you why it can't happen. Because you're never going to feel safe. And if you never feel safe, you're going to want to leave the journey. So many twin flames say, I am leaving the journey. Can't handle it anymore. He or she blocked me. He or she's not speaking to me. He or she's not, whatever it is, whatever your boundary is, they've pushed your boundaries, right? And this is why people leave the journey. But how does someone meet your needs if you don't know, if you don't tell them what they are? This is my question to you today. As I say, I hate this word detachment. Detachment, this is what I'll tell you why I don't like it. Detach from your twin flame. Block them. Never speak to them for 3 years. Right? To me, it sounds like revenge when you do this detachment style here. Or there's the other thing where we attach so much that we're really, really needy. Please don't go. I miss you. Oh my goodness. Right? The needy version of Little Red Riding Hood. Please eat my apple pie. I made 5 apple pies just in case you didn't like the first 4. Please don't go. She's bowing. I don't know. She's bowing to him. Look at that. Right? So these two styles don't work, because detachment means you're going to close off the heart space. And attachment means you're going to open up the heart space so big and wide that you're going to forget about yourself. Attachment means you're going to lose yourself to the other person. Detachment means you're going to close yourself off to the other person. Right? We need to remain heart space open 100% of the time. 100% of the time. We need to say, I love you unconditionally. These are the behaviors I will and will not accept in the 3D. Right? If you say you're going to call and you're not going to, please text me. Right? I'm not going to have sex with you until we have gotten to know each other better. right? I'm not going to give my body away to you until I know that we're actually on the same page about what this is. If you block me for no reason and then come back to me, I may not accept you again. What are your boundaries? What behaviors will you and will you not accept? I want you to write these down. What is acceptable to you? Is it okay if your twin flame says that they love you and they're coming in and they're, trying to be all these sweet things and then is having sex with someone else? Is that okay with you? Ask yourself these questions. You cannot possibly surrender in the 3D without having conditions, because in the 3D reality, you will have some conditions. You can be unconditionally loving, but you're going to still have boundaries. You must have boundaries, because otherwise you are not going to be, you're not going to feel safe, and you're not going to feel as though there's any potential for growth. I'll give you a great example with parenting, right? Imagine, I don't know, a woman, let's say it's Little Red Riding Hood. She's a parent and she's addicted to methamphetamines, okay? So she's high all the time, right? She might be laying down in her bed and little Jimmy comes home from school and says, Mummy, let's use donkey. Mummy, I had such a great day at school. I've got homework to do and I don't know how to do it and I'm hungry. And Mum's passed out on the floor. So he has to fend for himself. Now, sorry, Little Red Riding Hood. Let's bring you up again. Now, let's say she is fairly stable and he comes home from school and goes, Mummy, I had such a great day. And she goes, did you, sweetie? She's trying not to use any swear words. She had Tourette's syndrome for years, but she's trying to say, that's good, sweetheart. And then she might get shit. Right? No, but with no disrespect to anyone with Tourette's syndrome, that's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm just joking around. But what I mean is that even if she had some kind of illness or something was not right with her, she could still unconditionally love him to the best of her ability, right? Just like with the divine masculine, he might have addictions and behaviors. He might even have Tourette's syndrome, but she can still give him unconditional love with some boundaries. He might go, Mummy, I'm going to pull off your cape and use it as a Superman cape, right? And she'd have to say, no, that's unacceptable behavior because I'm going to Grandma's house later on because I've got to take her some apple pie, right? So you see what I mean? We can be, unconditionally loving is hard because that would denote no conditions. But if you have absolutely no conditions in the 3D world, you see how it doesn't make sense, because then you're buying that piece of land. I'm buying 5 acres, but I have no idea where it starts and where it ends, and so I can't plan my life. How do you plan unless you know the boundaries? Oh, there's the perimeter. I can put my house there. I can have a donkey paddock over there. And he's really excited, of course. Okay. So this is what my Magic 20 is all about. My Magic 20 is, okay, divine masculine and or feminine, right? The Magic 20 is for divine masculines and divine feminines. I'm always going to love you, no matter what. Even if you decide never to come and see me again, I'm always going to love you. When they come in the 3D, you're going to know how to behave. You're going to know what to do. You're going to know how to make your boundaries known. and still remain in your heart space. This is, this is some of the stuff that no one talks about on the twin flame journey, because usually the divine feminine gets more pissed off and more pissed off and more pissed off and more pissed off and more pissed off. Right? Take gender and flip DM to DF, but they get pissed off because they're like, well, I love you unconditionally, but you're not doing anything to make me feel safe. You're not calling me, you're not texting me, you're not, or if you do, you're not, I don't know when it's going to be. There's no stability, there's no safety, there's no feeling like I'm wanted. And in the 3D world, we need to have some kind of perimeter around our life, There's that old song, "Don't fence me in," right? Said every divine masculine everywhere. But the thing is that